It is also...
It is National Exercise Naked in Your Garden Day.
No.
No, it is National Exercise in Your Garden Day.
It's National Gardening Exercise Day.
To recognize the benefits that you get in your garden, and also to encourage stretching, just a little extra.
And today I add a few more stretches when you're in your garden.
But I did have a thought about that. I wasn't just being funny. Well, yes.
Excuse Mark. What do you mean? No.
A lot.
God, I suck. I can't quote things. I'm like Monica on like Friends.
Well, the point was, a few weeks ago, she said to me, she was looking at the calendar, and she said, today is National Garden Naked Day. And I'll tell you, up here on the mountain, it was a little cold for me to consider that. And she said, oh, come on, we'll go out and I'll take some pictures of you, naked in the garden. And I'm like, yeah.
I think they need to change the date of
at least for up here, because I tell you,
way too early in the
She
season.
said everybody understood about shrinkage, but no, Mr. Happy was not going to be doing that. So I thought we should combine them and put them all in like a date that's a little warmer, and we could have National Exercise Naked in Your Garden Day.
Well, we can certainly rally around for that one.
Okay.
So,
Rally around that, you know what I'm saying.
welcome. Thanks for joining us. Our first question comes from Arthur Curry from Atlantic City. He's asking about watering. How often should I water and for how long?
Depends how many beers you had.
I don't think they understood that. Well, basically,
I
depending.
said it depends on how many beers you have had. There, did they understand that?
Probably.
Okay. Actually, funny as that sounds, it is a deterrent to animals if you want to urinate around the outside of your garden.
So walk around with a beer.
Don't do it into the garden, but
No.
have a beer, admire your garden, and if you feel like putting a little animal barrier down, it's perfectly acceptable.
But
true.
watering for your garden, when you're establishing a new garden, especially in the beginning of the season, when I just put in the new plants and if we've seeded, I tend to water twice a day. I'll come out in the morning with my coffee and water I don't have a system set up here. We don't have any kind of irrigation or drips or raised bed, we have raised beds, of course. Soaker hoses. So I have a hose and a wand, and I come out early in the morning.
Somehow I smell a honeydew project just landed.
It's definitely on the to-do list. But there's different ways to water. As I said, I come out and I come out and use the hose and a wand. I do that early in the morning and in the later in the afternoon. Not while the hot sun is out, because I try not to hit the leaves and stuff.
Whenever you water, try not to hit the leaves. Go down in underneath the leaves, because the water sitting on them could cause rot. You don't want to encourage anything to come up to drink on that, like little insects and such.
Well, you can a little bit, but because the dew goes on.
Well, the rain's going to go on it. We tell people that, and some people say, "Well, what's?"
Remember what Daphne was like?
I wasn't going to name names.
Oh, sorry.
Now that she just outed. Oh, look, we just lost a viewer. And you told her to stand out there with a umbrella over it whenever natural rain fell down, and she didn't know you were kidding.
Who takes things very literally. I had a little.
There's a literacy problem in your family.
We take things very literally.
Very literally. That's true.
Which gets us into trouble sometimes.
I think one of the things to think about with water, in particular, since you're doing something, you're basically being artificial rain. If you weren't growing these plants and they were just left out to nature, they'd be left to whenever Mother Nature decided to water them. But for the most part, what plants enjoy is, I'm going to use an SAT word, but they like homeostasis, which means they like an environment that doesn't change much. And
I know a lot of people like that.
A lot of people are like that, more so than perhaps even the people who are like that would like. But what can tend to happen if the plants and beds get too wet because of overwatering or over rain or underwatering or lack of rain or drought, I believe it's called in meteorological circles, it'll shock the plant and it can cause it to not be as happy, and you want your plants to be happy. So one of the things you got to think about with your watering regimen, no matter whether you're just establishing and watering twice a day like Christine said, or when you're getting into a more daily pattern, is you got to give in consideration, be a little bit of a weatherman. I mentioned meteorological.
Yeah, I mean, if if it rained that morning a lot, you don't need to go out and
or if you know
put
it's
your
going,
hand in the
if you
soil
know it's
and
going
feel
to
it.
rain, if you know it's going to rain. Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
If you want it to rain, go out and water your garden. You'll be sure it's going to rain.
Yeah, it's like that dust cloud that follows
It's Murphy's Law.
That follows what's it? A pig pen.
Yeah.
Not from the Grateful Dead, the one from Peanuts.
Our next question is from Thelma Blank from Brooklyn. She asked, I planted carrots for the first time this year, and they're sprouting up very nicely, but there seems to be an awful lot of them. What, are they okay?
Carrots, generally when you plant them, they're tiny, teeny little seeds, or if you get them in the tape, we love planting the tape seeds. If you don't know anything about those before, it just looks like a piece of gauze tape, almost an inch wide.
Awesome.
They've got them the right length for spacing for whatever particular seed it's in. You just make a little furrow in the ground, you put the seed tape in, you cover it over, bing, bang, boom, it's beautiful.
But you still have to thin with those. So.
You do too, but that's my point, no matter what you use. But they're going to come up and be very, very thick, and that's not going to let them all enough room for them all to breathe into.
So what you really have to do is take a little pair of scissors, and kind of go in between the plants and
sacrifice some for the good of the many.
So hard, but really, if you want good carrots, this is really the best way to do it. That and plant marigolds all around your carrots, because marigolds do wonderful things under the soil.
Think of carrots as the Borg collective. Some must be sacrificed for the good of the collective.
Yeah, so that's, got to snip away a little bit.
There's a nerd reference for you. Nerd alert.
So our next question is from Gertie J. She says, what's the difference between heirloom vegetables and a hybrid vegetable? And are they both organic? So heirloom vegetables tend to be older than 50 years old. They've been planted.
They last that long?
No.
They've been refrigerated?
The cultivars have been, they're over 50 years old, often before World War II.
And this is detail.
That's right. And although isn't it like the 75th anniversary of that?
It is.
So, whereas hybrids are.
Oh, so they have to be older than that, yes.
So hybrids are created with plant breeders. They take two different types of plant variations that they like. They have certain qualities in the plants that they like.
But this is not GMO, not to be confused with. This has been going on. Abraham Lincoln, well, I don't know if he was a farmer, but he must have been. He was from Illinois. I'm from Illinois. We had a lot of farmers there. But I think even in Jefferson's time, they were splicing plants.
Yeah, right. There's a difference between splicing plants and doing it that way, and then genetically modified is when some scientist has taken the DNA and injected it and done something. That's not organic.
We heard on Jeopardy, one of the questions when we were watching Holzhauer. Everybody watched Jeopardy James.
Jeopardy James.
Oh man, Jeopardy James. They had a question about scientists had bred with a tomato the DNA from a cold weather cod to try to increase the tomato's receptiveness to growing in colder conditions.
Oh, right.
Well, they used the word tried, so I didn't look it up, but I guess I haven't heard about cod tomatoes. So,
but organic vegetables.
Take two. Live TV.
Organic plants and vegetables are pollinated through a natural process, and
which is not to confuse it.
Open pollination.
Which is not to confuse raising it organically.
Right, exactly. So raising organically, you wouldn't use chemicals or pesticides, artificial or synthetic, materials. You want to use all natural.
You can take an organic seed and raise it unorganically.
Yeah, yes, you can. There's omri. OMRI. If you really want to check if something is organic or, this is a great. I think it's omri.org.
It's the Good Housekeeping seal of approval for organic items in the gardening industry. Most companies that are OMRI rated will have it on their package because they're proud to say that their product has been accepted.
It's the Organic Materials Review Institute.
OMRI sounds very zen. It's very zen-like for a very zen-like garden experience. Yes.
Finally, Susan asks, I'd like to start a garden. What tools do you suggest are the most useful?
Husband. No, I mean he's a tool.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the best things in the garden, I mean the most essential, let me grab a few of these things. I find that a good pair of gloves are key. So, good garden gloves, a hand spade. If you're starting a garden, you might need some bigger tools. And Mark's grabbing some of them. So, you've got your hand spade. So you may need that if you're just beginning a garden.
I want to comment on the quality of this tool, this fine aged like fine wine tool. I had a better one, but I ran it over with the tractor earlier this spring, fixing the dirt road after the particularly harsh winter we had. So that's the way it goes.
A rake. I got that. One of us needs to be in the shop.
I thought you were calling me a rake.
So, a rake like this is good. And, a big shovel like this, so it's good if you're putting in new compost or fresh soil, if you're just starting a garden. Once the gardens are all started, the only thing I really use on most of the time,
this tool right here. Yeah, and you put the gloves on and 10 minutes later the gloves are off too.
Yeah, I like feeling, I like when I'm seeding, I have the tendency to put things, I like to feel the seeds, so my hands get really dirty.
I feel the earth under my fingers, and it feels good.
So, that's it for today's show. Thanks for coming and visiting us. Please send us your questions about gardening and sustainable living. We'd love to help you. Come visit us again next Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock here on Instagram.
Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Peace out, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe. Ugh, I can't see, so it's like the whole thing. The reflection from the sun. It's terrible. Oh no. How do I turn this off? Wait, I can't. I'm still on the air.
It doesn't matter. It's a great